Hey guys, let's get more news from Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. TJ Watt narrowly wins Defensive MVP in player vote. Watt finished with 6 votes, while Bland had 5.5 as someone split their vote between him and Cleveland Browns' DE Myles Garrett. Alman wrote that the first 7 votes went to different players, with 13 total players receiving at least 1 vote. Garrett came in third behind Bland and Watt. Bland had an impressive season with an NFL record 5 interceptions returned for touchdowns. He stepped up for the Cowboys with CB Trayvon Diggs going down for the season, and it's clear that players appreciated his efforts this season. Watt isn't likely to win the AP Defensive Player of the Year award at the NFL Honors on Thursday night, and he already lost the PFWA Defensive Player of the Year award. Interestingly, he was also not named an All-Pro by the NFLPA in what was a vote by the players. But in this poll, Watt got enough respect to finish first and ahead of guys like Garrett, Micah Parsons, and Max Crosby. Watt led the NFL in sacks for the 3rd time in his career, finishing with 19 in 2023. He also had an interception and 68 total tackles to go along with 4 forced fumbles and 8 passes defensed. It was another stellar season for Pittsburgh's best player, and his numbers are better than those of Garrett, who is likely to win the AP Defensive Player of the Year award. While both Watt and Garrett were first-team All-Pros, Garrett got more votes for that honor than Watt. Given that the voting pool is the same, that doesn't bode well for Watt's chances. It would be Watt's second Defensive Player of the Year award, while it would be Garrett's first. Other notable players to get recognition in the player vote include Justin Mattibike of the Baltimore Ravens, who got 2 votes, and his teammate, Roquan Smith, who garnered 1 vote. Former Cincinnati Bengals safety Jesse Bates, now with the Atlanta Falcons, also received 1 vote. While it doesn't mean anything substantial, it's good to see Watt get recognition from his fellow players who can appreciate just how dominant he was in 2023. He's far and away the most important player for the Steelers, and his defensive prowess doesn't always get enough respect. That's not the case here, though, as Watt takes home the win for Defensive MVP. Mike Tomlin finishes second to Dan Campbell as coach players most want to play for. Campbell got 6 votes, while Tomlin received 5. One important note is that players could not vote for their own head coach, so every player surveyed had to pick a different head coach around the league. This is the 2nd year in a row where Tomlin finished in second, as last season he lost to San Francisco 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan after winning in 2021. Tomlin is regarded around the league as a coach who cares about and takes care of his players, and it's little surprise that players around the league would like to play for him. Still, Campbell, a former NFL player himself, might be the ultimate player's coach, and with Detroit's success this season, making it to the NFC Championship game before falling short against the San Francisco 49ers, he's a logical choice for first place on the list. Still, it is telling just how much Tomlin is respected around the league, given that he was able to still get 5 votes, 2 more than any other coach who wasn't Campbell. Houston's DeMeco Ryans came in third with 3 votes after just his first season as a head coach, as he led Houston to an AFC divisional round appearance. Other coaches who received more than 1 vote were Mike McDaniel of the Miami Dolphins, Andy Reid of the Kansas City Chiefs, and Sean McVay of the Los Angeles Rams. All 3 of them received 2 votes. After placing first last year, Shanahan received just a single vote this season. There's little doubt that Tomlin has a lot of respect from players and his fellow coaches, but the results on the field need to start showing for a Steelers fanbase that's starting to get restless. Tomlin hasn't led the Steelers to a playoff win since 2016, and the continual playoff one-and-done appearances are getting old. This poll, though, is more in the vein of what coaches do the best in relating and connecting to their players, and it is good to see that players around the league feel like Tomlin is a coach they can connect with. That helps when it comes to free agency, as it makes Pittsburgh a more attractive destination, having Tomlin as their head coach. It's especially impressive that Tomlin can remain toward the top of the list with the rise of former players and player-oriented coaches like Ryans and Campbell having success, whereas Tomlin's been in Pittsburgh since 2007. But he still gets respect from players and does a good job commanding the locker room in Pittsburgh. Maybe Tomlin can get back to the top of the list with more on-field success out of the Steelers next season. Steelers urged to use blank check to add three-time Super Bowl champion to staff. The Pittsburgh Steelers created an extra coaching position to hire former Miami Dolphins head coach Brian Flores 2 years ago. All Steelers talks Noah Strackbein and Stephen Thompson argued the Steelers should do something similar for Mike Vrabel. In fact, the co-hosts argued the Steelers should be so excited about potentially hiring Vrabel that they should make him an offer he can't refuse. If you can get Mike Vrabel, you go get Mike Vrabel. It's really not a question of ability or anything, Thompson said on the All Steelers Talks February 2nd episode. It's a guy that I'm not even sure that you really have to seriously interview. It's more about, hey, do you want to come here? It's a pretty one-way street there. If Mike Vrabel wants to come, the Steelers should want him to come. I don't know how much an assistant like that would get paid or anything. But I think you almost write him a blank check and say, yeah, we'd love to have you here. Vrabel spent 6 seasons as the Tennessee Titans head coach from 2018 to 23. Although he posted losing records in his final 2 seasons, he registered a 54-45 record overall. In the 2019-20 season, Vrabel led the Titans to an improbable AFC Championship game appearance. The Titans were the conference's 6th seed that postseason. As a player, Vrabel won 3 Super Bowls with the New England Patriots. Ironically, he began his playing career with the Steelers in 1997. Strackbein agreed with his co-host that the Steelers should pursue Vrabel as a high-level defensive assistant. Strackbein also concurred that money should be no object for the Steelers, bringing in Vrabel. I don't know where that comes out. I don't know the finances of coaching staffs and where it comes from and all that, Strackbein argued. But, Art Rooney makes $1 billion a year. Go sign Mike Vrabel. Strackbein added that investing in Vrabel could actually lead to more of a profit for the Steelers. You aren't sweating the couple mil that you've got to pay this guy to make your defense that much better. And if you make the Super Bowl and go on a run and have one crazy defense, chances are you're going to make more money. Because people are going to buy jerseys and come to games, and so on and so forth. So it's all going to work out in your favor anyways. Strackbein described the idea of the Steelers adding Vrabel as a high-level defensive assistant so unrealistic when the Titans first fired him. That's because it seemed to be a foregone conclusion around the league that Vrabel was going to be a head coach somewhere else in 2024. But all the NFL head coach vacancies are filled, and Vrabel is still available. That now makes the Steelers adding Vrabel a distinct possibility. And you fan, what do you think of the Mike Vrabel situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.